A wonderful day, beautiful people. Today we will going to discuss our topic. But first, let me introduce ourselves. First up is Mr. John Celson M. Del Rosario, Mr. John Roel P. Tumbaga, and I am Miss Rhea Isabel A. Manlangit. Misconceptions on multiculturalism. From the word misconception, means a view or opinion that is incorrect because based on faulty thinking or understanding. And multiculturalism means the state of a society or the world in which there exist numerous distinct ethnic and cultural groups seen to be politically relevant. In general, it is tied to an ethnic movement and that it seeks the end of the mainstream culture, as if it is will remove one to replace it with that of a different social and or ethnic group.
So now that we are already familiar with the definition of misconception on multiculturalism, so let's move on to the next slide. Education and the production of social and economic inequalities. Social scientists have long argued that school outcomes, whenever achievements or attainments, are linked in large part to students' social class background, usually measured by parents, level of education, occupation, and income. So, according to the social scientists, social class is usually measured through factors such as parents, level of education, occupation, and income. So these factors are indicative of the resources and opportunities available to the students, which is significantly impact their academic outcomes. For example, yung mga batang pinanganak na mayayaman na pamilya, ay matik ay meron silang access to more educational resources like public tutors, magandang paaralan, and extracurricular activities na pwede silang pagsalihan. While on the other side, may mga bata talaga na galing sa mahirap na pamilya or from low-income family. They may face challenges such as indicate resources, limited access to quality education, and increased stress from living in poverty. So next bullet, despite the massification of the US system education during the 20th century, differences by social class have persisted at largely consistent level, according to Aurum, Guruman, and Shavit, 2007. Parang ganun din sa unang bullet, students from higher social classes have may access to better schools, better teachers, and more resources, which can help them achieve higher level of academic success. On the other hand, students from lower social classes may face more significant barriers to accessing quality education. So, question: what model that argued poor and minority are not performing well in academics because of their social class background? So, alam nyo ba kung anong model? Hindi. So, ito na nga. So, this is the social reproduction model, argues that the poor and minority students are not performing well in academics because of social class background. The social reproduction model suggests that the education system reflects and reinforces the existing social class structure and perpetuates social inequality. So, according to this model, social class background plays a crucial role in determining educational outcomes, and the students from low-income or minority backgrounds face significant barriers to academic achievement and success. So, next slide. Class stratification. Class stratification in families and K-12 educational institutions affect the three sets of educationally related outcomes. So, first, the academic achievements and attainment. Like ngayong sabi ko kanina, yung mga estudyanteng pinanganak ng mayaman ay sila lang yung may malaking chance na maka-access ng magandang education, like magandang paaralan at madaming opportunities. So this can result in higher academic achievement and attainment levels. While yung mga estudyante from lower levels or lower class, sila lang yung may mababang opportunities at kulang sa mga resources. The students from lower social classes may face significant barriers to the academic achievement and attainment. So second, post-secondary entrance and graduation. So student from higher social classes tends to have more access to resources and opportunities that can help them gain admission to top universities, such as private college counselors, specialized test preparation, and better college preparatory programs. Additionally, students from higher social classes are more likely to graduate from college, as they have fewer financial barriers, better access to academic support, and more professional work. So we are now going to number 3, short and long-term employment opportunities and income. So this number 3 can also impact by class stratification. So students from higher income families may have the greater access to internship and job opportunities through their family networks and may be more likely to attend elite universities that have stronger alumni networks and more prestigious job opportunities. Additionally, higher level of education are typically associated with higher level of income. And so, students from lower income families may be at a disadvantage in terms of long-term income and career opportunities. So we are now going to social stratification. Social stratification, allocation of individuals and groups according to various social hierarchies of differing power, status, and prestige. So, social stratification refers to the way in which societies organize individuals and groups into hierarchies. So, it is based on various social criteria such as wealth, education, occupation, race, gender, and other factors. These hierarchies are characterized by different level of power, status, or prestige, which create distinct social classes or groups. So there are 3 types of social hierarchies: the upper class, middle class, and the working class, or so-called lower class. In upper class, comprises individuals and families who hold wealth, influence, and power in the society. They often inherit their wealth or acquire it through high-paying professions. The upper class is characterized by exclusive education, luxurious lifestyle, and access to high-end social network. Next is the middle class. It's a broad category that includes individual and families with moderate levels of income, education, and occupation. So lastly, the working class is a group of individuals who work in low-paying jobs, often involve manual labor or service-oriented work. They typically have limited access to education and social networks and struggle to meet their basic needs. So that's all in class stratification. So we are now moving to class stratification on education. So ito na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. So pagdating sa education, pag mataas ang class mo, mayaman like that, sila lang yung may privilege. Pag sinabing privilege, sila lang yung may advantage. Kumbaga privilege nila na makapag-aral sa magandang paaralan. Maraming opportunities ang pumupunta sa kanila at sila yung madalas na nagsasucess. May magandang buhay at trabaho. On the other hand, pag sinabing denying opportunities, ito yung act of preventing someone from having equal access to resources and opportunities. Kaya ang pagsak, sila yung nahihirapan, mababang sahod, hirap umahon at nasa baba na klase. So as we can see in the first picture, nakikita natin yung bata in the left side ay mayaman, then yung bata na nasa right side ay mahirap. Hindi nila kaya bumili ng kagamitan na hindi importante sa kanila, gaya ng laruan. So, mas binibigyan nila ng importansya na bilihin ang mga basic needs para sila ay mabuhay. So, the second picture, makikita natin na pag mas madami kang pera, mas madali mong makukuha ang iyong pangarap. On the other hand, nakikita natin yung mga people na nasa lower class, sila yung mga nagdadagdag effort para umahon. At ganun din sa third picture.
What would be your message to the future President of the Philippines in relation to the problem about the class-related stratification in education? To the future President of our country, I, simple citizen, have a message. Education is very important to everyone because it is one of the ways to achieve our dreams in life. I know the world is cruel and not all people will treat you right. But as a future leader of our beloved country, please help us and the next generation to treat and serve equally. Help us to attain and get the proper treatment we deserve, whether what color of our skin we have, what physical feature we have, and what status we have, also what gender we're into. Inequalities for the discriminated class. From the word itself, you can identify what is it. Ito yung hindi patas na pagtrato sa loob ng klase. And there are many factors. Social and cultural capital embedded within families, and the extent to which such varying forms of capital are differently valued by schools. The social capital is referring on the connections and networks of their family to achieve their goals, and cultural capital is about the behavior, beliefs, and attitudes they have. Sa dalawang kategoryang iyon ay nakakaapekto sa edukasyon ng mga bata dahil sa iba't ibang pagtrato ukol sa kinabibilangan nilang kapital. For example, you have relative on that school and you need papers or documents for your enrollment. Other will line up to get those requirements, while you can get it easy by just talking to your relative to get those documents. Easy peasy using connections. Academic tracking. What models suggest the culture is different from the prevailing practices of schools. The school is basing on what is practices that is prevailing on the school. Kung anong tingin ng paaralan na umiiral. Different access to academic knowledge in elementary school. Differential access to rigorous math and science courses in secondary school. This will be belong on sections or they classify them as homo and hetero sections, where if you were on the highest section, then you have more opportunity on participating activities and mas focus ang mga teacher na magturo sa inyo kaysa sa ibang section na mas mababa. Drop out and push out patterns. Increased segregation and hyper-segregation resulting from the repeal of the segregation court orders. That the segregation court is promoting integration and want to reduce the segregation, but still this isn't work in all places because of lack of enforcement, racial and socioeconomic disparities, and other. And this can result of reducing the social trust, limited access to the resources and opportunities, and ability grouping and tracking. Ray's 1970 observed a group of African American children through their kindergarten. Group separate reading characteristics typically associated with the differential social class backgrounds, appearance, behavior, and language use. Based on the figure that is presented in the presentation, the highest ability reading is the well-dressed and grooming and language, while the middle ability reading is and the low ability reading is poorly dressed and speak in the neighborhood-based dialect. And they were based on the table placement is the smart or the top. Ability grouping is about the practice we use in education where students are separated into groups based on the academic abilities. This is in spite of the fact that the students' IQ test scores in kindergarten reveal no significant differences across the three tables: academic achievement, subjective judgment, and subsequent teacher behavior as related to assume class differences in academic ability, self-fulfilling prophecy, and low ability reading is turning or pinagtatawanan na lang sila.
What is the one thing that you think you want to do but at the same time you think you can do or accomplish? Ito yung ano daw yung kaya mong gawin at pero at the same time parang hindi mo kaya, parang ganun. Example, gusto mong mag-swimming pero hindi ka marunong lumangoy. Gusto mong makapagtapos ng pag-aaral pero hindi ka naman nag-aaral ng mabuti. Parang ganun. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Process through which an originally false expectation leads to its own confirmation. In a self-fulfilling prophecy, an individual's expectations about another person or entity eventually result in the other person or entity acting in ways that confirm the expectations. Example, if you wake up and immediately think, perhaps for no particular reason, at all that day today is going to be a terrible day. Your attitude might make your prediction come true. You may unconsciously work to affirm your belief by ignoring the positive, implying the negative, and behaving in ways that are unlikely to contribute to an enjoyable day. Parang inuunahan mo na yung mga mangyayari ganun, tapos iniisip mo na yung mga negatibo. Parang ganun. College tracks foster independence in students. One of the most effective ways to build independence in students is by encouraging them to do some research. Involve more time spent on classroom instruction. There are many good reasons to bring children together in school. To offer them a powerful learning environment, but doesn't seem to be a shared view on exactly how much time children should spend in school. White and middle to your upper middle class student population. Lower or non-college tracks enforce conformity, a change in behavior or belief as a result of real or imagined group pressure. Spend less time on classroom instruction to avoid pressure. Higher levels of non-white and working class students. Research is quite clear that track placement has consequences in terms of the type of knowledge students are exposed to and the college options available to such students when they leave school. Unfortunately, recent research suggests that track structures are difficult to adhere because of the social, political, and economic focus that work maintains them. What is culture poverty?
Poverty is about not having enough money to meet basic needs, including foods, clothing, and shelter. Culture of poverty. This theory was first proposed in 1960s by the anthropologist Oscar Lewis. The culture of poverty is a controversial theory that suggests that people who live in poverty share certain attitudes, beliefs, and values that make it difficult for them to escape poverty. Kung saan sinasabing ang kahirapan ay hindi lamang sanhi ng mga kakulangan ng mapagkukunan, katulad na lamang ng edukasyon. Pero isa din itong salamin o nagpapakita ng isang tatanging kultura na nagpapatuloy sa kahirapan. And this idea of a culture of poverty has been criticized for blaming individuals for their own poverty, rather than acknowledging the structural factors that contribute to it. Critics argue that the theory ignores the role of social and economic policies that create and perpetuate poverty, such as lack of access to education, job opportunities, and affordable housing. Pero ayon sa mga pag-aaral na ang mga pag-uugali na nauugnay sa kahirapan ay hindi maipagkakaila sa mga taong nasa kahirapan nga. Ganon din naman sa mga nasa middle and upper class. So, ang ideya nito ay higit sa pinawalang saysay at pinalitan ng isang pagkilala sa masalimuot at sistematikong mga sanhi ng kahirapan. Research on class privilege. More scholarly work takes as its starting point and exclusionary processes through which poor working class and lower middle class students end up in the same relative class position as their parents. Educational institutions work explicitly on behalf of the relatively privileged, as well as ways in which privileged groups themselves work to maintain the Bourdieu 1984 calls distinction. You can see on the presentation that there is the cycle or the poverty cycle, which is the child grow ups in poverty and significantly disadvantaged in education and skills, and then turn into the struggles to get a job, and then fail to escape the poverty cycle, and then magkakaroon na siya ng family in poverty again. And then another, paikot-ikot lang siya.
Academic preparation is an important mechanism of stratification at college entry. But even comparable students, similar on many characteristics including preparation, have different degree completion chances at different types of college. This statement suggests that the academic preparation plays a significant role in determining their likelihood of gaining admission to a particular college or universities. However, it also implies that even among students with comparable academic preparation, their chances of completing a degree can vary depending on the type of the college they attend. So, for example, students with similar level of academic preparation may have a higher degree completion rates at more selective or prestigious universities, when they may access to more resources, rigorous academic program, and supportive network.